Hello, my name is Beth Smoose, and I am in the Instructional Technology program at Kennesaw State University. This is my final semester of my Education Specialist degree, and this video is over my capstone project titled The Benefits of Current Events in the Elementary Classroom. This is my first year as the instructional coach at Lanier School for Inquiry, Investigation, and Innovation, or LSI-3, in the Hall County School District. This is my 12th year in education, and all have been in the Hall County School District. I have worked at 2 elementary schools and worked with all grade levels K through 5. I have been on the leadership team for the past several years and have multiple endorsements such as Gifted, ESOL, and Reading. I am adding the coaching and STEM endorsements to my certificate this May. I am a lifelong learner, love sharing what I have discovered with others. I am also a wife, a busy mother of 3, and an avid runner. Lanier School of Investigation and Innovation is a Title I school and part of the Hall County school system. Hall County is located in the north central portion of Georgia. Hall County Schools is a public school system and located in Gainesville, Georgia. The Hall County school system reports that there are over 27,000 students enrolled, and of those, approximately 3,200 are identified gifted learners, and about 5,200 are English language learners. The Hall County school system consists of 20 elementary schools, 8 middle schools, 7 high schools, 1 alternative learning center, and 1 college and career-ready academy. LSI-3 is the newest elementary school of choice in the district. It began implementation in the 2020-21 school year. LSI-3's overall performance is higher than 77% of schools in the state, is higher than its district average, and has earned the letter grade B according to the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. LSI-3 serves approximately 480 students and houses grades pre-K through 5th grade. Approximately 18% of the student population is an English language learner, and 26% is classified as economically disadvantaged according to the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. Students are one-to-one with Chromebooks at LSI-3, and the county provides a plethora of software like WeVideo, Flipgrid, BrainPop, and Canvas for its teachers and students to utilize. When I began working on my capstone project, I was a teacher in a K-5 gifted resource classroom. I served a different grade level each day of the week. The change in my role as the instructional coach at LSI-3 did impact portions of my project, but only minimally, and did not affect the overall objectives of the project. Problem, needs, and rationale. The basis of my capstone project is rooted in the fact that my school has a low percentage of students performing at the Distinguished Learner on the ELA, Math, and Science EOGs. One of the SIP goals for LSI-3 is to increase by 5% the number of students performing as Distinguished Learner on EOGs as a way to positively impact learning. Teachers must grow in their understanding of how to increase reading comprehension and critical thinking skills in their students. Introducing current events in the classroom will positively influence reading, writing, math, science, and social studies content knowledge. Current events are engaging for students, and research shows that students will have a better retention of concepts introduced through current event articles. Connection to research. The world is globalized more than ever because of technology and the advancements in communication and transportation. This globalization phenomenon makes it imperative for citizens and students to know and understand geography and global issues. Deborah Hofflinger examined research that showed U.S. students know less about world geography and global issues than students from other countries. This lack of knowledge and understanding puts Americans at a distinct disadvantage in the global market in comparison to other countries. The same research continued to examine the positive impact on both students' global awareness and increased reading levels with the implementation of reading current events in the classroom. Thinking critically in a global society is important and has been linked to the ability to read critically and has been referred to as critical literacy. Christine Pescatori defines critical literacy as an active engagement with the world as well as with text and requires the ability to think critically. This simply means it is the ability for one to read, synthesize, identify the importance of the content, and the significance the literature has on the reader. Critical literacy pushes the reader to think beyond what is being read and understand the deeper global context of the literature. Christine Pescatori goes on to describe how these critical reading skills are positively linked to passing state tests. Wayne Journal explores the topic of a teacher's willingness to teach current events in the classroom when the perceived need to prepare students for state test assessments is more important. The quality research follows 6 government teachers from 3 different high schools in Chicago's South Side during the 2008 presidential election. While there are many implications in how teachers allocate time to teaching current events, the major impact was teacher perception on student performance and end-of-course state assessments. It is not that the lack of teacher desire to teach or incorporate current events, but often is the pressure of preparing students for test material that directly impacts student achievement. It should also be noted that teachers who are more comfortable in their practice tend to take more chances on adapting the curriculum to the needs of the students. The first objective for this plan was for 100% of the 4th and 5th grade teachers at LSI 3 to participate in professional learning over incorporating current events in the classroom during the first semester of the school year through our learning management system, Canvas. This goal was met and is evidenced by meeting minutes, lesson plan formatting, and lesson observations. The second objective was for a minimum of 1 teacher per grade level to independently plan and implement a lesson with current event articles from Newsela at least once a week during that 9 weeks. The goal was met and is evidenced presented through in-person classroom observations and lesson plan analysis. The overarching goal for this plan was for teachers and students to become comfortable with using current event articles in the classroom in order to improve reading comprehension and critical thinking skills. The plan for this project was to make teachers aware of the importance of incorporating current events in the classroom, provide materials for teachers to use with their students in order to influence critical reading and critical thinking skills. In addition, we would measure the impact of both student and teacher learning over digital learning tools like Newsela and Padlet. The project quickly expanded to include additional resources for students, including But Why Podcast for Kids, Jamboard, Flipgrid, and Padlet. It was through my meetings with teachers that they requested additional resources for students to access current events and digital tools for students to demonstrate their understanding. The plan during this project was to increase teacher awareness of the problem with the low amount of distinguished learners and assist them in implementing current event articles in the classroom. It started with surveying teachers to determine the usage level of current event articles and to provide tailored professional learning over selecting current events, implementing current events with students, and assessing students' learning formatively. Teachers used resources provided through the professional learning sessions that I facilitated and a digital course on Canvas, Hall County School District's learning management system. The evaluation plan. How would each objective be evaluated and met? In order to evaluate the impact of the project, a plan had to be in place. The first step was to create digital sign-in sheets for all professional learning sessions. Next, I created a digital classroom inside of Canvas in order to house the learning modules and keep track of teacher and student materials. Teachers and students were also surveyed at the beginning and end of the project to determine personal learning growth that occurred. The survey results for students will determine if the knowledge of current events, the importance of reading current events, and the usage of current event sites has increased. The teacher surveys will determine if teachers are more comfortable with using current event articles, if there was an increased amount of current event articles used, and to determine if the value of using the current event articles has increased. In addition, students' ELA scores from the beginning and middle of the year, Beacon assessment will be analyzed to determine if an increase in reading comprehension has occurred. Lastly, the students' BAS scores from the beginning and middle of the year assessments will be analyzed to determine if an increase in nonfiction comprehension occurred after implementation of the project. The experience of the Capstone Project. The Capstone Project started out with me meeting with my administration team and instructional coach to determine an area of need within my school. From those conversations, we devised a plan to help increase critical thinking and comprehension skills with students in order to increase the amount of students performing as a distinguished learner on the EOGs. From there, I researched best practices and began to develop a plan for how to increase critical thinking and reading comprehension. Based on my research, I determined it was necessary to implement current event articles in the classrooms in order to increase students' ability to read critically. From there, I created a digital course inside my county's learning management system, Canvas. Teachers were able to access professional learning materials covered in our face-to-face sessions and materials they could use with their students. Each of the face-to-face PL sessions were tailored to meet the specific needs of the individual teacher. I met with grade levels and individual teachers throughout the project and assisted as needed. The results. Overall, the project was a success and had 6 willing teachers who implemented the project over the entire semester of the 2021-22 school year. This project affected the entire 4th and 5th grade student body and as a whole had a positive outcome on deepening teacher understanding of pedagogical strategies and strengthened student learning. The impact on learning is evident by analyzing Beacon growth reports in student reading level on the Fontes and Pinnell BAS reading assessment with the increased number of students scoring at or above grade level at the mid-year reading assessment as compared to the beginning of the year. Here are the spreadsheets created with the data to show all of this information. Throughout this project, it has taught me there are many responsibilities when it comes to facilitating and leading people in a project of this magnitude, and I must be very organized in order to be successful. There were several unforeseen barriers throughout the project and required additional flexibility on my part. Some of the barriers proved to help with the implementation because I was afforded extra time in teachers' classrooms through the new position I had occurred. I learned each teacher has a different expectation level of an instructional coach, and an extremely clear plan for what each person's role is during these lessons was imperative. Leading people is not always easy because not everyone thinks or responds to challenges and successes in the same way that I do. As a technology facilitator, I must be willing and able to help both the teacher and students to help themselves through adversities. This means teaching teachers and students to troubleshoot and not just give up at the first sign of a roadblock. In addition, the project taught me to refine my listening and speaking skills. As a technology leader, I must be able to listen and respond with very clarifying questions and help guide teachers and students to the proper solution. It is also important for me as a technology leader to stay calm when issues arise because unexpected issues will always arise. The project also taught me to be over-prepared and have backup solutions because what is planned may not be completed. Through this project, I learned that everyone is flexible or able to think quickly in the moment. I learned to differentiate between teachers' dispositions and never wanted teachers or students to see me stress. Showing a flexible attitude by working with teachers who are less experienced with technology and working with failing technology is something I will continue to work on throughout my career. I cannot assume everyone understands or likes technology like me. I am a better technology leader and stronger technology facilitator because of this project. Thank you to everyone involved in this project, to the iTech program and the teachers and administrators at Lanier School for Inquiry, Investigation, and Innovation, and your willingness to complete professional learning in order to impact student learning.